Good afternoon, everyone. We would now like to welcome our next speaker, Kaustuv Mohanty, who would like to share insights over the importance of personal branding. Kaustuv is an electronics and computer engineer and a senior student pursuing computer science and engineering at SRM University. He is the co-founder at Seed House, chairperson at IEEE SRM, and chief operating officer at Technology. He has spent the last few years empowering tech and has contributed extensively to various communities. So I would like to welcome Kaustav sir.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here in this entire place. Thank you so much, Team LFC. Thank you so much, Dhruva Jyoti, for inviting me here and for me to speak in front of each and every one of you about a very intriguing and a very personal and a very nice topic, which is going to actually empower not only one person but also a lot of people out there, which is personal branding. So, we'll get started with it immediately. So, this is personal branding according to me. The first slide actually describes an entire aspect of what we are going to present out there. So, I try to make it in a particular way that is really going to be pleasing to the eye, and that's going to be very, very interesting as well. Thank you so much, Learn for Cause, and thank you so much, Women of Code 2022, to organize such an important event and to actually invite me here. So we'll just get started. So let's talk brands, guys. So present over here, we have different organizations listed. So we have Coca-Cola, we have Starbucks, and we have Schweppes. In here, we can see that there are a lot of segmentations, but over this one segmentation, there's just one commonality that is between all three of them, but they're all different in a lot of perspectives. When we talk about brands, we talk about a singular entity that describes different perspectives of different companies, that has a different brand language, a brand power, a brand segment, and a brand identity. Over here, we have three different brand identity focusing on one common goal. So that common goal can be beverages. You can see over here that Coca-Cola, be it Starbucks, and be it Schweppes have all determined their brand in perspects to a lot of other criterias, and these criterias are actually having that one commonality, which is beverages, but they have a different taste, they have a different segment. People know it for a different purpose, and that is how they become one of the world-class brands out there. So when we talk about our own personal branding, we talk about these two words, which is personal and that is branding. So personal is something that you own, that is something that it is for you. Branding is something that you show it out there, that you like pose it as pose it as a ideality out there such that people can recognize you with that. Coca-Cola, Starbucks, and Schweppes actually have that one recognizing factor, that actually everyone knows that if I go and if I take Coca-Cola, it's for a different purpose. If I take Schweppes, it's for a different purpose, and if I take Starbucks, it's for a different purpose altogether. So each one of them has a thing which is common in them, but they have different objectives, and that's how we categorize brands in different perspectives. Let's go to the next thing. Now, when we talk about actual brands, when we talk about actually the main concepts of how brands are, of how brands can be, we have this one idea with us, which is Apple. All right, I may be a bit segmental in this basis. Ki why do I want to go for Apple, and why do I want to like go for this? Why do I want to go for this company? But when we talk about a branding lesson, we talk about Apple because Apple has made sure that in terms of brand identity, in terms of its brand variability, we see a lot of things out there that is very, very custom made, and that really, really attracts the people out there. And that's the reason, be it any price, be it any segment, be it any sort of design, any sort of flaws, they still go for Apple. And for that reason, we have that one thing, which is brand power. Apple actually shows brand power, and that is the base reason why it is one of the biggest brands out there. According to Forbes annual study for the world's most valuable brands, they are valued at $182.8 billion and a revenue of $228.6 billion. There are Google, there is Microsoft, there is a lot of other companies, but why Apple? Apple determines certain things, and because of which it shows that it is really consistent in its brand power. It ultimately defines and determines your trademark in receiving and perceiving worth of how much a customer is willing to spend on your products. So, how do you define brand power? How do you define a true value of a customer? So, a brand exists only on the basis of a customer or on the basis of another business that is taking up that brand. So, there are two segments that can actually happen. There's one segment that is B2B, and there's another segment that is B2C. And when we talk about B2C, we talk about a brand, a business that is showing their brand as an identity to the people out there, to the consumers out there, to show it out there that this is something that they can actually cater on. And that is why it is known as a brand. And when we talk about personal branding, each company's existence is only and only basis of their own personal branding. Without its branding, a company cannot exist, and a company does not actually think of existing in a market that is so big. So we always actually cater to the brand power, and one of the most important things that I actually love and that made me motivational towards why should we go for personal branding is Apple altogether. So so the true value of a product is influenced less by the manufacturing cost. So manufacturing cost is something that, for an example, if you want to build a product, so in order to build a product, you need a certain cost that develops it towards its manufacturing unit such that you can get your product in your hand. So without a manufacturing cost, a manufacturing cannot be done. So there is a different segment in every product development organization, in every organization that is developing products. It has a manufacturing unit that has certain cost to it such that it can go to the customers out there. So I believe that the true value of one product or your product is actually influenced less by the manufacturing cost, which is the effort it takes to visualize or create the product. So Apple creates its own product, for an example, like iPhone XS Max. So if it has created its own product, it has certain cost to it, and that is manufacturing cost. So the effort that it takes to build in those design layouts, the design cuts, that every single detail to detail output that you see in an Apple um, phone or a product or any sort of like a product of Apple is the manufacturing cost. And in this cost, the more the amount by the people are willing to pay, and that is the main reason why Apple is out there, and that is the main reason why Apple is very reconciled out there in the world. And be it the design, be it the cost, be it the payment, people still go for Apple. Be it they criticize that three structured camera layout that some of the people actually right now take up in terms of selfies, but at the end of the day, they always go for Apple because Apple speaks brand and brand speaks Apple. Let's go with the next segment, which is what is brand power. So I told you about a little bit of brand power, but let me just make you understand brand power in three different steps. So in this live session, every one of you are willing to listen to a certain amount of time, but for a normal human being like me, it's very difficult to very difficult to cater it out there, to talk out there about the different entire paragraph of what is brand power, and to explain it in a very small way, in a very layman's terms, because at the end it is the language that is very comfortable to us, which is explained in a very nice manner rather than defining like Chatur of Three Idiots. So, talking about brand power, if we make them understand in three different ways, we talk about what is power of the brand. So, a brand has certain power that it shows out there in the market. And when you talk about the market out there, the brand does certain aspects that makes it viable in the market. So when we talk about viability of a product, when we talk about viability of a particular company, we talk about its appearance, its visualization, its way, its method of showing it out there to the audience that we exist. We exist. So if we are existing, there is certain power that we have that makes our customer reach out to us again and again. So if you have seen over here, I'll not use Apple all the time because it will be very cliched. For an example, if we go for a proper OnePlus fan, so I use a OnePlus phone. If we go for a proper OnePlus fan, we know for this fact that whenever there is an event that comes out, there's a lot of hype that it creates. But There's a lot of people out there who love OnePlus right now. Obviously, the product of the like the way that OnePlus is has decreased day by day after the founder has quit its company. But talking about OnePlus, talking about its brand, whenever there is an event, whenever there is a launch, I actually am might be one of the few people who search it like certain months before, like a 6 months before, like which phone is coming out there and what product of OnePlus is coming out there. And that is a customer segment that a brand does, and that, my friends, are brand power. That is the power that the brand has created that makes its customer not only stalk them in terms of in a good way, but to also reach out to them without the company reaching out to them. So how many people have known this, that so how many people have been reached out by a marketing or a sales team of OnePlus? I don't think so there will be any, because I didn't get any sort of calls. But if you have, but that won't be possible because OnePlus hardly does any sorts of sales based call, because the product that it is there in the market, it is so viable, it is so feasible, it is so out there that people are attracted towards that product, towards that brand, towards that very company without even thinking twice. That is the power that the brand has created, and that, my friends, is brand power. Talking about the true value of a product, a true value of the product is something that the product is viable of. So when we talk about, I am using a lot of words known as viability and productability. So when we talk about viability, it means that how relevant is the product to your consumption. For an example, if we talk about consumption, I'm a consumer, I'm a customer, right? So if I'm a customer, I want certain products that could be availed to me, that I could use it in a day-to-day basis. If I do not use the product, why do I have to go out there, and why do I have to search for a feasible solution? For an example, earlier what people used to do is people used to use typewriters. I hope everyone knows about it. Some people are also using it till now to write books, to write different paraphrases. But from typewriters to a computer era, they knew that there's not an excessive hand that is required all the time. It's not an excessive hard work that is required all the time, or a hand that you always do it, like sweep it out there such that you can write the next line, is required all the time. It's a simple solution. You have notes. So everything that a customer wants, a company makes sure that a customer is getting what it needs, and that is how the company is running. So if, for an example, LFC present over here is not able to sell out its particular purpose to all the people out here, and if it is not understanding what their customers want, what the LFC's customers want, then customers will actually go and LFC will be bankrupt. Sorry, Dhruvo, it won't be happening. Don't worry about it. But talking about it, it is very, very feasible, and the company actually functions exactly like the customer, because customers, according to a brand, is God. So if you do not worship the customer, you do not obey the customer, you do not help or respect the customer, you're going to lose your brand, you're going to lose the company. So in order to do that, you need to provide certain extra deliverables, certain extra value, or add certain value to the product, such that not only you go to the customers, but customers come to you. And that's how brand power is so important. Talking about the last point, which is 5 ways to create brand. See, for any other organization, if we take about, for an example, OnePlus, okay, or for an example, Samsung. So there are different 5 ways that a company like Samsung does its face, which is, first of all, generate brand awareness. So brand awareness is very important because it makes sure that the brands are out there and the people know the brand, so there is certain awareness. To get those awareness done, you need certain tools, you need certain segments, that in layman terms is known as PR and social media. So, using social media and using PR, a brand creates an awareness among the people, it creates a community among the people, and that is, I guess, that is one of the main objective of Women of Code and Learn for Cause, to create a community out there, to feature the people out there, to help them, to grow with them, and to give them everything that is there, such that they can grow as an organization, but the people can grow as a as an individual, and that is the main objective. So what are they doing? They're creating a brand. And in terms of brand, they are going out there and they are partnering with certain people who are felicitating them. There's a mutual respect. When there's a mutual respect, there's a mutual trust. When there's a mutual trust, people will not only be getting will be waiting for you to give them a call. They'll be dragged towards your organization because you are providing them with something that they are actually longed for a very long time. And the one of the main thing is, a brand is created, and people understand with those brand that if this brand is speaking, this brand speaks these things, so I can close my eyes and I can directly go to them. So this thing in layman terms is known as awareness, and that is very very important for a company to exist, for a brand to exist. Talking about creating an experience, it's very important for you to go out there and to see the numbers out there and to give an experience to the people. Talking about Apple again, do not kill me everyone. I might not be a huge Apple fan, but I take a lot of inspiration from my main mentor. And I guess he is one of the main reasons why I still am able to do whatever I'm able to do right now. The experiences that I've gained, by any hook or by crook, Steve Jobs. Talking about Apple, if you have ever gone to an Apple store, the first time I bought my first Apple product, I'm not going to name it out there because you want to share, he's such a show off, so I'm not going to do that. But the first time I did, I got my first product, I made sure that I go to the Apple store, and the experience in the Apple store is completely different. The Apple store people actually welcome you, they greet you, they take photographs with you. It has happened with me. I don't think so it has happened with a lot of people, but I felt that if this is the experience that a normal store at a normal place is able to provide it to me, there is something out there in the brand that is separating it from a lot of other companies. I go to Samsung, I go to Dell, I go to HP. I don't think so I get the similar sort of a thing. I don't think so I get a similar sort of a service based thing from a person who is selling me the entire product to a person who is buying. So I do not feel that bond. I just go out there, I pick out a great product, I buy it. That's it. There's no experience attached to it. This experience that Apple has created is actually separated it from a lot of other brands, and that is the reason it is at a like a $182.88 billion evaluation, one of the biggest brands out there. Talking about an experience, this is my way of telling you what is an experience. An experience is something that a person is attached towards you, so you provide them with a certain respect, with a certain deliverable free of cost, that they will feel passionate about to go with your band again and again and again. Now talking about the next point, which is building trust. A brand or a company cannot exist if you do not build a trust. You need to have a trust. If the trust is the key, that is the key for a brand to actually succeed. If a brand and a company does not have a sincerity to the customer, if LFC does not have a sincerity to its customer, and LFC does not have a sincerity to the people who are out there who are watching the stream, then it is very difficult for those individuals to trust LFC and to again come back to the event again and again and to go out there. It is very, very not, it is very difficult, and I don't think so. It is very, very feasible. So building a trust is, sorry for that, is very, very important. The last 2 points, building continuous improvements. So every time you can see that a company is only stagnant if you do not ideate and if you do not do something more every single time. Correct? So the company is going to be stable. The day you stop ideating and the day you stop imaginating or day you stop thinking more, that is the day where your company's growth has actually stopped. And that is the day where your company's growth has actually been static. You need your company, you need your brand. If everyone over here is an entrepreneur who wants to be, or anyone who wants to create its own personal brand, you might think like, why is he always talking about different companies? I'm talking about a company is made by certain people who made it a company because they wanted it to happen, right? So if you have that aspirant, it's not like you want to go in an entrepreneurial field. If you want to create your own brand identity, like your own identity out there, you just need to understand that you need to improve your identity again and again. You need to build something more. So for an example, currently, touchwood, and touchwood, by God's grace, I founded an organization known as Seed House. So it lacked somewhere, but when I founded it, it understood that if I do not do a continuous improvement into an entire organization like Seed House, by constantly uplifting its value, it's not only going to lose its brand value, but it's also going to lose its customer value as well. So customer value and brand value is very, very important, and people actually cater it like that. So a continuous improvement is very important. Talking about the next point, which is a foster brand loyalty. So this cannot be overemphasized, because a brand loyalty is what keeps customers to go to your brand again and again. That's what I said. So no one reaches out to you from different organizations like Apple or OnePlus or Samsung. You go to them because you feel that they have that loyalty, you have built that loyalty. So if I have bought a OnePlus phone and I want to continue with that phone, since I know that OnePlus has been so loyal to me, so the next phone I'm going to buy is always going to be OnePlus. So I'm loyal to the brand because the brand is loyal to me. So the sincerity is both the ways, and that is how we create the brand power. And these are the five things that involve brand power. Talking about the next things. First question to you: are brand known by logos? No, they are not. If you think this is the right answer, then who are these people? These people, do you know all these people? I think you guys know it. I think everyone loves it. I think there's been a lot of controversies as well regarding this. But at one point of time, Shark Tank India was known by the people and not by the name. Obviously, the name was created out there, but the name represented certain people as well. And because of which Shark Tank was globally accepted to be one of the most high rated channels, high rated series that has ever come in television screen in this world. So Shark Tank is not known by the name Shark Tank. Shark Tank is known by the people who made it out there, the people who created a brand out of it. So the last question: do you think that brands are known by logos? I don't think so. Brands are known by people, and the people are the reason why brands exist out there. So I believe a particular thing, and I want everyone else to know about this. A brand does not create the people. Certain people come together to create a brand, and that brand facilitates those people in terms of its growth. And that is one of the main aspect of it. If you think that if I'll be associated with a company like Microsoft or Google, I'll be creating my own brand, no. There are about crores and crores of lakhs and lakhs of employees out there who are similar to you. If you want to create your own brand out there, you need to create a presence of yours, and that presence is only created if you go out there and if you show that you have something that the others don't have. And that's how one of the, like, the CEO of Google is the CEO of the Google, being an Indian, being from India, and he has a height, and that is the main reason. Talking about the sharks over here, if you want to know about the names, I think everyone knows their names, but I'll just repeat it to them. um Ashneer Grover, the founder of Bharat Pay. Vinita Singh, she's the founder of Sugar. It's an Indian cosmetics organization. Piyush Bansal, he's my all-time favorite. I love Piyush Bansal because from the entire Sharks, that was where my favorite was Piyush Bansal, because the way he approached, obviously we share the same sort of a level gap, like 2 years difference, but I understood his vision really properly, and the way he was, I really respected him a lot. Talking about Namita Thapar, she is actually the CEO and the co-founder of Incredible Ventures Limited. It's a segmental company that features into biomedical products. Talking about Aman Gupta, he is the king. He's the co-founder of Boat. Talking about Ghazal Alak, you have known that influencers like Flying Beast and other influencers talk about Mama Earth ka product, Mama Earth ka product. She is the co-founder of and the CEO of Mama Earth. Talking about Anubhav Mittal, Shadi.com, very, very famous. So these people created a certain brand, and these people are the reason why these brand actually exist. And these are the reason why this is actually happening, and this is the reason why this brand are actually right now catering to us as customers into a lot of aspects. Talking about the next thing. So, my dear friends, from the very first slide to right now, why personal branding? Why do you need it? Why is it so important? Like I said, everyone has a personal brand of their own. If you have a LinkedIn profile, or if any sort of like an online presence, you guessed it right, you have a personal brand. So if you have LinkedIn profile, you've created a brand of yourself. If you have created your own proper portfolio, you have created a brand of yourself. And brand is something that you create for yourself, that should be out there, that could make a little bit of difference to the people out here. So talking about why personal branding, I feel that one of the most important things why personal branding is so important is because one of the most important things, why do I want to be known for? Okay, so why do I need to be known for? Like, some people are very introvert. Some people think like, why is he speaking so much? Why is he like, why is he like showing off so much? Why is he like overshadowing others? He's not overshadowing anyone. He's just making his presence felt. And that is the reason. Be it good or be it bad. Be it in a bad way, for an example, Rahul Gandhi. Be it in a good way, uh, for an example, Indra Nooyi. So talking about these people, they've created their own personal brand with an awareness, with the reputation that they've earned for themselves. They did not do something very big, or they did not do something very small. They just did something that others understood, respected, gave them a lot of reputation for that, gave them a lot of individuality, gave them a lot of reach, and at the end of the day, they created a personal brand of their own. So if you want to create your own personal brand, ask yourself this one question: why do I want to be known for? What do I want to be known for? What is there in me that wants to be known for out there in the people? So you can take a further step talking about this when we are speaking in a big conference or something like that. What are the lessons that you want to learn? What are the things that you want to be known for? And that is what you have to ask the first question in order to understand about personal branding. Talking about the next thing, if you want to know about networking, networking is very, very important. So when you talk about networking, networking is something that creates connections. So for an example, let me introduce you to a LinkedIn algorithm that I think everyone knows about it. But talking about a LinkedIn algorithm, what does LinkedIn do basically? LinkedIn asks you to post something. It's up to you, obviously. It's up to the normal person who they want to post or not. So LinkedIn asks you to post something. They want you to comment, they want you to share. It's like a proper social media platform, but for individuals who are really career oriented. So LinkedIn algorithm functions like this. If you want to comment at a particular post, your connections reach out to those that post because you have commented in it. For an example, the if LFC is commenting something, or if LFC is like giving a post of its own, if I as an individual commented out there in the post like, great opportunity, really amazing, really interested, really looking up for. So currently I might have about uh, more than about 1000 plus followers who are there in LinkedIn. So they see those posts, and the reach for LFC increases multiple times into 1000, into the already reach that it has. So for an example, if LFC has 3000 reach, if 3000 people know LFC and 3000 people are following LFC, with one comment that I can make, LFC is not only reaching to 3000 people, it's also reaching out to more 1000 people from my target audience as well. So LinkedIn actually creates a lot of community within a community, within a community, and within a community. So that's how you build networking. If you want your own branding, if you want your own personal growth, you need to have a lot of connections, because good or bad, both the sides. For a company to grow, you need good people to target them, and you need good people to actually network out with them. But at the same time, you need certain people who can back up the company if you face any sort of difficulties like lawsuits and all. So it's always nice to make two sorts of networking. One is a good sort of networking that you can create out there that can help you in return, and one sort of like a normal based networking that could actually help you in need. That is actually one of the like a powerful sort of a networking that is very, very important. So it's very, very important for you to have your personal branding like that. Talking about the next thing, which is control your narrative. So as it goes personally, as it goes perfectly together, never assume that people know your background or your work ethic or successes. You need to tell them out there. So it's not like I am telling you out there that I am this of this organization, I'm doing this. I'm not telling you out there. I am making my presence felt by doing something good, by reaching out to a target audience that know me for my work, so they respect me for the things that I have done. There's so many people out there that I have respected, that I have known. I respected them for the work they did. Later on, I knew that, oh my god, they are from a very big organization. They are the CEO or co-founders of a very big organization. So being very, very honest, if talking about me, I happen to not know one of the founders in the Shark Tanks, obviously in the Shark Tank, which is talking about Mama Earth's founder. Mama's founder, I did not know who is she basically. I just heard about the brand. But I have I have actually heard a lot about it, and I've heard about the vision. So, but when it went to seeing the Shark Tank altogether, the series, I then got to know like, oh my god, they create a presence, and that presence is actually felt. And so they do not tell you out there; they show them in their work, and the work defines them. I'll always tell you this, every one of you. For any sort of a thing that you want to do in your life, just make your presence felt. If you're making your presence felt, your work will speak for yourself, not you yourself. Talking about the last thing and probably the most important thing, women of code is associated with this. And one of the most important things that I respected in my life, that everyone I guess respect, my biggest inspiration is my mother. Always and always has been and always will be my mother. She, as a particular individual, wanted to be an entrepreneur, but couldn't be. Had to sacrifice certain aspects because she had to lead an entire household, because obviously the orthodoxical method. But she never, but she always felt really really bad regarding why she couldn't do it. So I personally feel, for all the women out there, you're just not meant to sit at home and to do something that's very very orthodoxical, that's very very traditional approach. No one should do it. Go out there, make your presence felt. Nowadays, I'm so proud to say this, that women out there are showing their worth, and they're creating their personal branding out there. And obviously, if you can see over here, there are a lot of people who were there in the Shark Tank as women, so there was a balance that was meant. So that makes us understand that women are so powerful and they're so successful out there. It's just that they are creating a difference, and I'm very very thankful that organizations like women of code are doing this. The next thing that we're going to come up is, how should you do it? You should do it what you want to known for: networking, show credibility, show your ideas publicly, be authentic. So the more authentic you are, the more honest you are about your work. If you copy it from somewhere, the copied work is going to be going out there, not your own work. So copying does not help you to grow a lot way. You need to create your own identity, and if you want to create your own identity, you need to be authentic. You need to be having that own honest fact to yourself that you can provide it out there. Talking about your ideas publicly, if you have an idea, if you want to do something to the society, if you want to do something to the community, make an idea, go out there, show it to the community, help them. Let people judge you, let people tell you that, oh my god, he's just doing some crappy shitty services to just influence certain, or to just help certain people grow. I'll tell you that is not the fact. And I want everyone to understand this thing, that if you are helping someone, if you think that your idea has credibility, authenticity, and one of the most important thing, can help someone in return, can help the public, the brands that I showed you, that the brands that I showed you started with that idea, and see where they have reached right now. So always believe in yourself, and that is one of the most important thing. Talking about the basically one of the very last points, what are the different ways? I always believe that it is very important for you to tell a story. So it is very important for you to talk to the people and to tell the story. So every CEO, every founder, even me as well, even LFC's founder, Women of Code's founder, everyone has a story how they started it. Everyone has a story of how they built it throughout. So if you tell the story out there, and if it has an emotional background where you've come out from this stage to reaching to that stage, this is a motivation to yourself. When you look back and you tell that this is the story out there, and I dealt with something that is so critical, I made it out there, and because of which I am what I am right now, I'm very very proud of that. Make a plan for yourself. Being a person, being one of the being in operations field, basically we are very systematic. We like planning and we like plotting, we like execution. So before execution, we love planning and in a systemized manner. So if you are planning, make sure that it's just not for going out there, it's just not pasting it out there like a sticky note to remind you like you have to work hard, you have to work hard. It doesn't happen like that. If you are planning, you need to make sure that the plan is getting yourself an output and execution, and that's how it is. Grow your social footprint. Social footprint is something that connects you with different social media. People think that Instagram is only for reels, only for posts, only for showing your social media or your public or your personal life. No, There's a lot of influencers out there. There's a lot of people out there who do their own branding through Instagram, who do their own branding through Twitter, who do their own branding through Facebook, even though Facebook is not that existent right now because everything has been changed. But still, one of the biggest things that Facebook has done till now is get Facebook ads. And that is one of the biggest things that it has done till now. And I have a lot of respect for Zuckerberg for doing this, because he's gone out there and he has showed it. Even though there's been a lot of controversies, but they've showed that there is a social footprint out there. And social footprint is for you people to target out other people who are like you. So basically, a lot of founders have the story that I met my co-founder in a social media platform, which he connected with me or she connected with me, and on the basis of that, I did it. So grow your social footprint. It's very, very important. Talking about what you're passionate about, it's very important, because if you love reading a book, why don't you start something from a book? If you love cooking food, why don't you start something from like food? Make a food chain altogether. At the end of the day, everyone is going to judge. If everyone is going to judge, करता ही क्या है, खाना ही तो बेचता है, करता ही क्या है, beverages ही तो बेचता है. Coca Cola का CEO, what they would be thinking about, what their parents would be, for an example, if they are not supportive, if the other people, the haters out there, what would they say? What is he doing? He's just selling cold drinks. What is he doing? He's just selling Maggie out there. He's just selling some food things. क्या बेच रहा है? बिस्किट ही तो बेच रहा है. Hide and seek. So everyone judges you for the things that you are doing. At the end, क्या ही कर रहे हो तुम? कुछ भी नहीं. So at the end of the day, everyone judges you, but you have to focus on yourself, and you have to understand this, that no work is small and no work is big. It is you who create that work, and it is you who define that work. So please make sure you know this and you like respecting it. Lastly, my favorite, all time favorite, Steve Jobs. Go the extra mile in everything, and the value of your brand will make itself evident to your clients and partners. Just do one step more, just 1%, 5%, 0.2% more. And that 0.2% can result in 200% of certain success. You won't see it right now. You'll probably see it 10 years later down the line, and you will enjoy that thing, and you will feel like, oh my God, I invested 2% in this. I could get so many things out of here. I didn't know about it. And that's how a little bit of difference, a little bit of extra mile can make you realize and make you feel. That's my time, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity that you have provided to me. It was, I guess, lovely talking to you. And I hope that you have learned quite a lot about personal branding.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really an amazing session. We got to learn a lot from it. So, so sir, we had certain questions from our audience while you were giving this session. The first question is, so what is B2? The audience wanted to know the difference between B2B and B2C.
Sure. So, see, the two most important terms that actually shapes your entire company. If you're an entrepreneur and if you want your market, your company out there, if you want your brand out there, one of the most important thing is what is B2B. B2B is business to business. So talking about the biggest four, the first four, talking about Deloitte, KPMG, or JP Morgan. These are consultancy firms that give consultancy to consumers. No, they give consultancy to another firm, another business. So one business is reaching out to another business, and that is their USP, and that is how they're doing it. So that is B2B, business to business. If you're talking about B2C, that is business to consumer. For an example, what is Byju's doing? Is it reaching out to business? No, its direct stakeholders are its customers, its consumers. The customer who are of this critical criteria, who are actually studying with Byju's, and because of which they are actually partnered with Byju's, and because of which Byju's is actually helping them out. So a customer is reaching out to business, and business is reaching out to customer, and that is the revenue generating model. So every company has a different revenue generating model. What is revenue generating model? A revenue generating model is something that gives your organization certain revenue, and that revenue is what comes out as a profit margin for your organization to grow. So how does a company give its valuation? With its revenue generating profit margin model. So the more you generate the revenue, the more your profit margin is. Correct. So that is how different organizations deal from business to business. So they have a business within a business, and certain organizations deal with business to consumers, that is between a customer and a business.
Okay, so thank you. So the next question is, how does personality matter in a workspace, like you told about in your presentation? So,
Yeah. Okay. Talking about a workspace, if you raise that as a first base question, I'll ask you this one thing is that what workspace are you talking about? So if you're talking about a generalized workspace, for an example, a 9 to 5 job as an SD internship, as an SD developer, or talking about like a business associate, talking about as a sales marketing operations intern, talking about as a co-founder, talking about as a founder, talking about as a COO, it's you who create that workspace. And depending upon the workspace, you change your personality. A personal brand is created according to the different workspace it is there. So if the founder of LFC is creating its own workspace as the founder of LFC, the founder of LFC will have to create its personal brand with the reach that it is doing, with the community that it has created. You can go out there and check out the founder of LFC's LinkedIn, and you can see the community growth that Dhruva Jyoti has done. And that is one of the main reason that is personal branding. That is what you talk about branding. And that's what you say that if you want to build a community out there, if you want to build your own brand out there, that is a segment of branding. So different workspaces have different branding. On the basis of different workspaces, you create your own branding, so it differs from place to place.
okay, so we had one last question. What do
Sure.
you think we should focus on? Building a single brand or focus on concepts and social impact of brands and thus contribute to multiple brands?
Okay, can you just repeat that again? That was a very nice question.
Okay, okay. So the question is, should we focus on building a single brand or focus on concepts and social impact of brands and thus contribute to multiple brands out there?
Okay, so different people have different visions. So if you're a visionary, you want to concentrate on one brand, go for it, 110%. Why not? If one person has a single ideology that he wants to just promote one brand, he just wants to just focus on one brand, well and good, 110% done. You can go for it. If you want to create, if you want to focus on a lot of brands, it's upon your personal choice basically. So for me, if I talk about me, um, currently I have founded Seed House. I guess someone asked me what is Seed House. I'm going to tell a little bit about it. So Seed House is basically a silo based system. So I catered out that in agricultural field, the farmers actually store a lot of their crops. All right. So in storing a lot of their crops, what do they do is they store in certain storehouses, right? So problem happens is there's a dealer between a farmer, okay, that sends out the crop to the dealer, and the dealer is a distributor to a lot of other marketplaces. So if you see that if you want to buy dal or something like that, that is not directed directly from the farmer, that is directed between, there's a that's a middleman, and that middleman takes up a lot of charge, takes up a lot of amount from the farmers, and farmers actually face a lot of difficulties, and that's the reason the mortality rate of farmers has actually increased a lot. Not because the crops are not growing, just because they are getting fooled, because they do not have a proper education. Many of them, they don't. So what Seed House does, its Seed House is catering, like stopping that middle person, and by making that farmer reach out directly to the marketplaces, says that the value of the seeds, the value of the grains, the value of the crops is actually given to the farmer by taking a little percent of revenue generating costs for my company. So talking about me, if I focus on Seed House directly, I'm not going to do that. I have currently two other startups that I want to that is currently under progression right now, are the two more startups that are there right now that I'm currently thinking of. But talking about that two more startups, I know for one fact that if I'm able to concentrate on that one brand properly, I think with my expertise, I can concentrate on the other brands properly, because that is going to help me out there. That's going to help me reach out to more people. So it depends upon you. You create your own brand, you follow social cause, build more brands, or you go out there and to find more brands. It's completely up to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a really nice session. It was very nice meeting you and having this session. We look forward to see you again. Thank you, sir.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much.